What are we making today?
It's February, you know what's coming.
We're all sad post-election?
Yeah, we're not doing Jonestown. We're going to go in a different direction.
Oh.
More uplift.
Oh, God. Valentine's Day?
And we don't do heteronormative bullshit on this channel.
Thank you.
Mardi Gras is coming.
Oh, can we make a king cake?
That is what we're making.
I've never
King
done
cake.
one. This will be fun.
King cakes are great. The success is like a good king cake is like a good drag show. It's colorful, sparkly, and somebody chokes on a plastic baby at the end. So, since you're new to king cake, how about you make the dough and I will put it together.
Sounds good.
All right, take it away.
Right, I'm gonna work on getting our dough put together today. First, we're going to start with a couple of ingredients that I'm gonna get started over here, and then we'll take them over to the stove. So we're gonna use 1 1/4 cups of milk, and today we're gonna use soy milk. You can use whatever you want. And because I can't see, I have my glasses on, and I also need to turn this around to the proper side to know what I'm pouring. Go, 1 1/4 cup. And next we're going to add 1/4 cup of sugar. And then I'm going to take it over, get some heat, warm it up a little bit, and we'll add 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast to this. We'll get it on the fire. I'm just going to whisk this together while it heats up. Definitely don't want it to burn. And we're going to bring it up to about 100 degrees. We don't want to go over. All right. Hit 100. Turn that heat off. And we'll put our yeast in. And we're going to let that sit. All right. We have our yeast mixture. We have let it sit and cool for 5 minutes. We're going to start with 3 cups of flour. And then a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to sprinkle that in. And then pouring in our yeast mixture very carefully. I'll make sure we get everything in there. And then we are just going to stir until that is incorporated. And this is why we go to the gym, because it starts to get real thick and hard to stir. All right, now we've got that incorporated. It's really thick and really gummy. Try to not make any jokes about that. I'm gonna clean it off the spoon, get everything in the bowl. Get that out of our way. We've got another cup of flour that we have ready. I'm gonna sprinkle that in and just start working it together. All right, it's starting to get pretty flaky here. So we also have 1/4 cup of butter. We're going to add it in a tablespoon at a time. So you'll see I've cut it so that we can just add a tablespoon. All right, so as we incorporate that butter, we're going to knead it about 8 minutes for the whole time frame. Really trying to do our work like we do in the gym and get that glute going. All right, 8 minutes, I survived. Take your dough, put it back in your bowl, and we'll cover it. You're gonna leave that for 90 minutes. I'm gonna set this aside, let that continue to proof, and I'll be back in a minute to show you how to mix the filling. While our dough is rising like patriarchy, we're gonna start with our filling. We'll start with 2/3 cup brown sugar. We're gonna sprinkle in a tablespoon of cinnamon, and then 1/4 cup of butter. obviously vegan. So our butter is a little bit cool, so you'll notice I chopped it into pretty small pieces. So I'm just gonna work it in with our pastry cutter for a few minutes before I try and switch over to the spatula. All right, we are nearly there. It's almost incorporated. If you don't have a pastry cutter, when I make dough, before I bought a pastry cutter for myself, I would use 2 forks. You could try that. You might want to try a stand mixer or a hand mixer if you have one as well. Make this a little bit quicker. And there we have it. Clean this off. Make sure we get all of those yummy ingredients to save for later for assembly. And there's your filling.
All right, our dough is done rising. We are gonna roll it out, put in the filling, and braid it, and be almost done with our king cake. This is the fun part. Satisfying. So I'm gonna roll this out to about a 10 by 20 rectangle. We are at 10 by 20. Going to use my bench scraper to make this officially squared off. You can save these and make mini cinnamon rolls with them. And don't worry about perfection. We embrace messing things up here. All right. Now we're going to add in our brown sugar and cinnamon filling. All right, we got that more or less spread out, and now we fold it in half. And for this part, you're going to have to eyeball it, but we want to cut this lengthwise into 3 strips. Go about there. Okay, and now we get to braid it. Fortunately, I grew up with an older sister, so braiding is something I had to learn to do. But it's fairly easy. I'm going to have to turn this to be able to do it. But it's basically over. Over. Just like hair. And then fold this into a circle, fold into a circle, make into a circle. And you just gonna tuck some stuff in. As mentioned earlier, a good king cake is like a good drag show, which means you need a tight tuck. It's a little messy. Okay, and then I'm gonna move this to a pan with some parchment paper on it, and we're gonna let it sit for 30 minutes to bake. And while it's sitting, I'm gonna set my oven to 350 to preheat. And I'm going to have a towel magically appear to cover this while it does its second proof.
We're going to leave this here and see if Chick notices that it was gone. Also, that extra dough, if you're like me and you like to snack on raw dough, feel free.
All right, our 30 minutes are up, and it seems we have the baby. So let's go ahead and hide the choking hazard in here. Even this out a little bit. And we're going to bake for 20 to 25 minutes at 350 degrees. All right, our cake is done. I'm going to let it cool for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to ice and decorate it. All right, our king cake is cooled a little bit. I'm going to ice and decorate it. For the icing, I have whisked together a cup of powdered sugar, a tablespoon and a half of soy milk, and a half teaspoon of vanilla. And we're just going to hopefully just drizzle this on. Remember, it's like a good drag show, so messy is kind of what we're going for. And then lastly, sprinkles. It's purple, green, and yellow. Liberally sprinkle those. And then I'm going to move this and that is your king cake. You're good.
All right. Rules off, so sit down and be good, or I will beat you. I won't pretend I'm my mother. You never want to pick up anything sticky that a dude has touched.
It's not a sock. You're good.
That would be crunchy.